What's good, YouTube family? It's your boy Ados Picks, and today I'm checking back in with another YouTube video. And in today's video, I wanted to go over our All NBA teams. If the season ended today, these are what the All NBA teams should look like, in my personal opinion. Obviously, there's 3 All NBA teams. There's 5 people on each team, and they have moved to positionless at this point in time. So I just wanted to go through the 15 names that I think deserve All NBA this season. You know, the first thing to think about, of course, what we're going to factor into this, why I picked who I picked, and we'll go over, each person kind of individually, right? But I'm not just going to be talking stats. I'm going to be factoring in things like team success, defense, impact. Obviously, the 65 game rule. We're not going to see some big names on this because of the 65 game rule. And there's people on the list that if the season ended today, they might not make it. Like Jokic is obviously going to be on one of these teams, right? He's on pace to do it. He's not injured at the moment, but if he misses like 1 or 2 more games, he's out, right? That's another thing to keep in mind is just the 65 game rule. So we're gonna go in order. We're gonna go first team, second team, third team. I think if we did it the other way around, it would just be a little too obvious. So I like the idea of going first team, leaving a couple guys off that one, then pivoting the second team. So that's what we'll go ahead and do. Let's start with the best of the best this season. Shai Alexander is obviously on the first team. 31 a game, over 50% from the field, 55% from the field. And he's the best player on the best team. Not a whole lot to say about Shai. I mean, I just did a whole video on Shai. You already know how I feel about Shai. It's just complete dominance from him. So he's obviously on the first team. Nikola Jokic is another very, very easy pick here. 28, 12, and 10. Triple-double as a center. One of the greatest offensive players ever. Is it crazy to call him the best passer in the league? I don't think so. I don't think it's crazy to call Jokic the best passer in the league. And obviously, regardless of what people are saying at the moment, he makes Denver a lot better game in and game out. So on a title contending team, if that's what you think Denver is, and the best player, probably in the world, you could call him in the world, right? It depends on who you got. So him and Shai, 1 and 2, no doubt about it. Another easy one for me this year, and Victor Wembanyama. He would be my third pick to be on this team. This is no particular order either, right? I'm just kind of naming off the top 5 guys. Wemby would be on the list as my third guy that we're talking about. 25 points a game, double-digit rebounds, and then obviously the defensive impact is insane. I don't think I've ever seen anyone have the type of impact that Victor Wembanyama does on the defensive end. He is the best rim protector I've ever seen. You can switch this guy on to just about anybody in the league. And these teams are changing how they play the Spurs because of Wemby. So obviously team success matters a lot. Wemby is leading the Spurs to be the second seed in the Western Conference and one of the best title contenders in the league at this point. So I think Wemby obviously makes a lot of sense here because of impact, because of team success, and the stats back it up. He is one of those guys, though, him and Jokic, one of those guys, he might miss the 65-game threshold. If he qualifies, he's Defensive Player of the Year, and he's All-NBA first team for sure. Next up would be, for me, another easy one, I guess, and someone that I don't want to leave off. He's been playing great as of late, really leading his team, and that's Luka Doncic. He's almost in that triple-double category. He's leading the league in scoring at 32 plus a night, 8 assists, 8 rebounds. He's a one-man offensive system, you know what I'm saying? We've already seen him triple-double game winners just a couple nights ago, 50 balls. The Lakers, I don't give them a lot of credit personally as a team. I don't think they have what it takes to contend. And I honestly am not a huge fan of Luka Doncic personally either as a player. My only knock on Luka, for why he might not make it All NBA is his defense. Offensively, he's a guaranteed top player on the floor every single time he's there. But if you factor in defense, that's a big knock on him. And there's other guys that are going to defend and lead their team the same way with little less numbers all the way around. You could say maybe kick Luka off, but I think is a perfect choice, and he is an All-NBA player this year, first team All-NBA player. And this is where kind of things get interesting, right? We have our 4 guys that I think are probably a lock for it. And there's a lot of ways you can go with this 5th spot, right? You can go Cade Cunningham, you could go Jaylen Brown, you could go Kevin Durant if you wanted to, you could go Kawhi Leonard is another great one. But for me, I'm going to go Jaylen Brown as my 5th selection for first team All-NBA this season. The reason I wanted to go with Jaylen Brown is, I mean, the Boston Celtics are one of the best teams in the league again. I think out east they're my favorite to make the finals. That's something else that we've talked about previously in a couple videos if you watched them. But I think Jaylen Brown, I expected the Celtics team to be pretty bad. Like, I expected them to be on the bottom half of a weak Eastern Conference. I fully expected it, like six to nine seed, like right around in that range is where I had them projected. They're now the 2 seed, getting Jason Tatum back, and Jaylen Brown held the fort down. And he's not only taking a leap as a scorer, but he's also impacting the floor on both ends like nobody in the league. Like, it's insane to see what he's done on the defensive end as well. So to be on a team that I didn't think was going to be good, to average 30 and 7 and give you some of the best defense in the league, I just have to show respect to Jaylen Brown here and give him my fifth spot on All NBA first team. I think he's well deserving. So these other guys, though, some of the other guys we just mentioned, we're obviously going to continue to talk about. You don't get snubbed from first team and not make second or third team, right? But Jaylen Brown, definitely deserving of that fifth spot. There's a lot of different ways you could go with it. Let me know down below if you guys had someone else that you would take over Jaylen Brown for All NBA first team. So that rounds us out. We got Shea, Jaylen Brown, Jokic, Luka, and Victor Wembanyama as our All NBA first team. These are just guys that contribute to team success like no other. Defensive impact is there for most of them, and if not, the two that don't play defense and Jokic and Luka are providing insane offensive engines. They're leading their teams to be the best teams in basketball at this point. So those five, undoubtedly for me, felt kind of easy. Jaylen Brown was a toss-up, but those five should be All NBA first team this year. Now we get into a group where things get a little messy. You can start to go a couple different directions with things. I feel like for me, my first snub off of All NBA first team, probably not who you would think it is, and it's Kawhi Leonard. I think Kawhi Leonard has been a top 10 basketball player this year. Kawhi is still Kawhi, right? Like, to see what he's been doing this season is just beautiful. And I think all time, he's one of my favorite players. He's giving you an efficient 25 plus, and that's with a minute restriction and not playing back-to-backs for quite some time in the season. Obviously, still elite on defense when he's locked in. Availability was a little bit of an issue. And then the real reason that I didn't put him as our first team as a first team All NBA selection is because of team success. I think Jaylen Brown deserved it because I thought the Clippers were going to be good and they weren't. And I thought the Celtics were going to be bad and they weren't. They were good. So that's why I gave Jaylen Brown the nod over Kawhi. But Kawhi's been one of my favorite players to watch this year. If the team success was there, and he had a little bit better availability, I think I would have had no problem putting him on first team. Like I said, one of my favorite players of all time. That mid-range is filthy. Just truly greatness every time Kawhi's on the floor. Pivoting into our next player on All-NBA second team, I would give the nod to Cade Cunningham. Kind of feels like a big breakout year for Cade. Cade was kind of trending up, and now it's to the moon with Cade Cunningham for this year. He's giving you over 25, 26 points a game, over 10 assists, or right around 10 assists, I should say, on this season. And he's taking a Detroit team that was 2 years ago the laughingstock of the NBA. He's the best player on his team, and it feels almost like he's got him in their backpack, right? He's controlling the entire offense. He's competing on the defensive end of the floor. And it feels like the people around him are not elite, but as a point guard and who Cade Cunningham is, he makes them elite. So Cade Cunningham, to me, was one of those guys you could have also taken over Jaylen Brown for first team, but second team All-NBA, I feel like Cade Cunningham is a no-brainer here. Another one for me that seems automatic is Kevin Durant. I feel like Kevin Durant's really flying under the radar this year. The Rockets are bad as a team, so as a result of being the best player on this team, Kevin Durant is getting a lot of scrutiny, it feels like. But he's still efficient as always. He's on pace for 50, 40, 90, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have his splits in front of me, but on pace for that. 27, 28 a night, and still one of the most unguardable players night in and night out. And he's also had to lead this Houston team that's still young and still proven to be young. They have no point guard. He's asked to do a lot more on the offensive end of the floor. And he's still got to be solid defensively. So he's a very, very impactful player on a team that's been one of the better teams for the first 3 quarters of the season. They kind of fell off a little bit, but they've also dealing with some injuries. So I just feel like Kevin Durant's automatic here for for a second team nod. He's also played the amount of games that has been needed too. So KD deserves his respect 100%. Next up, we're gonna finish it off with two guards, and these two were kind of easy for me as the fillers to the second team. It would be Anthony Edwards, who I would say is becoming a star right in front of us. He's averaging close to 30 a night. He's improved on the playmaking end of the floor, and Minnesota is really competitive because of Anthony Edwards. He brings energy every single night, and even on those nights, I feel like Ant still battles with being inconsistent sometimes if you're just box score watching. But he's out there competing and bringing energy every single night. He's setting a tone for this Minnesota team and doing it at such a young age, at such a high level. Just for me, Anthony Edwards is one of the best players to watch. And I really believe in this Minnesota team because of Anthony Edwards. I think he's hungry, man. He wants to take the next step. And I think they're going to do that in the playoffs. So Anthony Edwards is definitely deserving of All-NBA second team. To round off this team, another one that I think has kind of been quiet this season, kind of like a Kevin Durant. He's quietly putting together another elite season. And one of my personal favorites in the business, Donovan Mitchell. 28 a night. He's averaging, obviously no Garland. Harden has stepped up in the playmaking role since he's got there, but Garland was out most of the season. Donovan Mitchell stepped up and is averaging close to 6 assists a game. So I love Donovan Mitchell. He's leading a strong Cleveland team. I don't necessarily believe in them come playoff time, but throughout the whole regular season, Donovan Mitchell, like I said, has just been quietly putting together an elite season, and the way he scores the ball is unmatched. I think when Donovan Mitchell is hot, and he's putting the ball in the hoop, he's one of the best at doing exactly that. So shout out to Donovan Mitchell. I think he is well deserving of a second team All-NBA nod this year. The third team was kind of the hardest part for me, right? This is where you start kind of splitting hairs. Stats get a little closer. Impact is a little debatable. Does team success matter on All-NBA third team? I stayed true to that, and I think that team success does more so than the stats, right? And I looked at impact across the whole season for this All-NBA third team. So my first nod here, Tyrese Maxey. I feel like Tyrese Maxey really took the keys to Philadelphia this year and didn't look back. He was leading the league in scoring at one point in the season. He's had to do a lot. He's obviously got hurt in the last week or so with I think it was a torn thumb ligament, but close to 30 a game, 7 assists, or right around 7 assists. And the way Maxey plays, he's another one of those guys that's just one of my personal favorites. He's so fast. He's a John Calipari guard, man, like coming straight from Kentucky, ready to go. He went from, I think, like a really solid developing young player to a full-on star this year, and he's well deserving of an all-NBA team. And I like a healthy Sixers team, but unfortunately there's just not that right now. So to be determined if they even make the playoffs, which I hope they don't because OKC has their pick. But to be determined if they even squeak in or not. But Maxey, well deserving of an All-NBA third team. Next one, another star, Jalen Brunson, another guard out east that is well deserving. New York is competitive. I'm not really bought into New York. And I don't feel like Jalen Brunson is flashy. He's not like, some player that's, I don't know. I just feel like he's not flashy, but he's effective, right? And he's going to give you 25 a night. Playmaking is taking a jump from Jalen Brunson, which I'm a fan of. And Jalen Brunson's always had that clutch gene in him. So I think he makes New York competitive. Without him on the court, they've just been all right. They dealt with some injuries, so maybe if they get healthy, Jalen Brunson will be a huge piece in making a run at a title, which New York believes that they can do. So Jalen Brunson, elite guard, definitely deserves a third team nod for me. Outside of those two, things get interesting, right? There's a lot of guys that I feel like you could put outside of those two. My third team locks were Maxey and Brunson. Those were my third team locks. Outside of that, it kind of just comes down to what you prefer. And this is going to be my third pick here for All-NBA third team was Jalen Johnson. I don't have the exact number in front of me on triple-doubles, but it's double digits on the season in terms of how many triple-doubles he's put up. Over 20 a night. Atlanta is really, really mid. Like it's a running joke, obviously, that they're the most mid team ever. But they've had a lot of changes and things going on in Atlanta all season long. And Jalen Johnson's done nothing but perform every single time. And every single night out on the floor, that's what he's looking to do, is compete. His versatility is amazing. His three balls taking a jump. Early in the season, Jalen Johnson kind of shocked everybody, and he never slowed up. That's the best part about it for me. 22, 10, and 5. He's doing everything for Atlanta, and he definitely, for me, deserves a third team nod just because of the way he started and the way he's finishing the season. My next one would be a little bit of OKC bias here, Chet Holmgren. I just feel like he's the perfect modern big, and he's well deserving of an All-NBA third team. He's defensively, he's one of the best anchors in the league. If Wemby somehow doesn't make the 65 game mark, which he's kind of close, Chet can easily take home DPOY, and I think he will take home Defensive Player of the Year if Wemby doesn't make that mark. That's gonna be the thing for the next 10 years about DPOY. Wemby's gonna own that award. So like getting runner up or like being in contending for it is always going to come down if Wemby plays that 65 games or not. So that's kind of where Chet is in the DPOY ways, and I think he'll be right there with Wemby. He might even be able to steal it from him a couple times. But OKC is elite, and Chet Holmgren is a big part as to why. I feel like he's just a perfect modern big, and he's done enough to deserve an All-NBA nod this season. And then my fifth pick, man, there's a lot of different ways you can take this one, but Jalen Duren is who I'm going to take here. He's taken a huge step this season, and alongside of Cade Cunningham, Duren is one of the reasons that the Pistons is so good. He's giving you 12, 13 rebounds a night. His efficiency is there. He's that brute force down low. He has that physical interior presence that not a lot of bigs have in the modern day. I don't know if he's a superstar by any means. I don't know if he's a top 15 guy in the league, but his impact this season and how he's played to impact winning really made me want to select him here. Sengun started off really good, right? Well, I would say so. If the season ended today, these are my All-NBA teams. It would be Luka, Wemby, Shea, Jokic, and Jaylen Brown first team. On second team, it would be Cade, Donovan Mitchell, Anthony Edwards, Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard. Third team, Tyrese Maxey, Jalen Johnson, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Brunson, and Jalen Duren. Those would be my 15 guys that are deserving of an All-NBA team. And that's if the season ends right now. I could probably change over the next course of the few months that we have left. The 65-game rule could come into things. Wemby could miss. I could miss. There's some guys that Maxey's still hurt. What if Maxey doesn't play another game the rest of the season? So things can happen to change, but those would be my 15 if we ended right now today. Let's talk a little bit about the snubs, or not snubs, but maybe people that already missed because of the 65-game rule, or people that started good but aren't finishing well. Shout out to the Kumpo. If he played the amount of games that were needed, he would easily be here, giving you over 30 a night, 12 rebounds. One of the best, just the most dominant player in the league is Giannis Antetokounmpo. So he would be here. Stephen Curry would have gotten a nod for me if he played the amount of games. I really love what Steph was doing, and it sucks that injuries took such a great season from us on Stephen Curry. Another guy that I feel like could make it, and he might, Jamal Murray. I think you could have put Murray over Duren. Top 10 in scoring. When Jokic went out, the things that Jamal Murray was doing was just insane. So I'm a huge fan of Jamal Murray. You got some other guys. Brandon Ingram is in these talks. James Harden. Could you make an argument for Karl Anthony Towns? There's a lot of guys that I think you could make. Devin Booker, he's another one for me that he might hit the games, but I don't know if he did enough to do it. Sengun started off really good, and fell off from there. I don't believe in Sengun. I feel like he's one of my bigger disappointments of the year. I really had a lot of Sengun stock coming into the season. He started off so well and kind of fell off from there. Houston's just kind of a nightmare at the moment. Lauri Markkanen, if he wasn't in Utah, injuries costed him eligibility and not playing because they're tanking. So all in all, man, I feel like we said a lot of good names. I feel like if the season ended today, those are my 15. Let me know down below in the comments if I missed anybody. If you guys had someone that I said was snubbed, let me know who you guys think. If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you, man. It's a little bit of a long one, over 20 minutes. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in and checking out the video. Peace out.